New from Wizards of the Coast as part of their Marvel Magic the Gathering crossover, you can unlock and open up the 5 Iron Man armors marks 4, 5, 6, and 7 as variants of famous Magic cards like Champion's Plate and Darksteel Plate. Plus, now have a 1% chance to open up the Mana Crypt Arc Reactor Marvel Super Comics foil. Nuff said. That's the Marvel thing. That's how Marvel always gives. Nuff said.
I don't think any of that is real, but it all seems completely realistic in the future of Secret Lair being a loot box. It is something that you buy, you know what you're getting, but at the same time you don't, and so it's almost like a very expensive booster pack. Highest level of gratitude to our patrons who power the channel through Patreon. Check out the Patreon link in the description to learn about monthly giveaways, VIP Discord access, and even our official playmat.
Big shout out to the sponsors that allow Jake and I to focus on the channel full-time. Card Conduit, best place to sell your cards. TCG Players, the best place to buy them. Drip is the best place to catch us twice a month live, giving away collector booster packs and selling some cool stuff that people have had a good time with.
Dragon Shield for protecting your sleeves, always and forever. We love those sleeves. We've been using those sleeves forever. They just had their 25-year anniversary. I had no idea, but they sent us something really cool, so thank you to Dragon Shield. Then also Moxfield for organizing your decks, and then finally MTG Stocks, which is the go-to spot for tracking your cards. If you want to track the price of your cards, get the most out of your collection, know when to buy as far as like all-time highs, all-time lows, that kind of stuff, MTG Stocks is a resource for you.
Also, a hearty pat on the back to our patrons that allow Jake and I to stay as independent as we possibly can be. Commander Play Day, where we play Commander with our Patreon all day, once a month. We've got sleeves, we've got play mats, all sorts of perks over there on the Patreon. Go sign up, see if it's a good fit for you. Jake, let's lay a little context here. For the first time really ever, Wizards announced a straight up high power possible pull from Secret Lair, and that was the Mana Vault themed to the Fallout. That kind of made our eyebrows raise. We have seen them put loot boxy aspects into Secret Lairs before. We talk about them in all of our reviews, but this is the first time straight up where it's like they said the quiet part out loud, so to speak.
I actually, thought it was going to be a lot cheaper than it is. It has only been out for a week, but we have seen prices drop from like 1,500 to like realistically like around 1,000. And some of these cards are selling for 900. I saw one sell for 650 by it now. So the price is taking a little bit of a dip. Not the first time that we've seen something special and spicy from Secret Lair. Secret Lair had stained glass planeswalkers in the beginning, which everybody was chasing. For anybody who doesn't know, there's always a secret card that comes in a Secret Lair product. It has been stained glass planeswalkers in the past. It has been the serialized backwards Viscera Seer.
Yep.
The mirror image Viscera Seer. It's been stuff like persistent petitioners.
Yeah,
it's
really
been a lot
rare
of different
variants of cards that aren't like serialized or special any other way, but that is the only way you can get that crazy art treatment of it. We've seen those pop up as well.
Well, yeah, we've also seen Wizards of the Coast straight up give away Secret Lair or serialized cards at conventions.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't even put that into the same realm as Secret Lair.
But it is
like,
worth mentioning.
sure.
It's another like high power, high value card you can get from Secret Lair. When Secret Lair first started coming out, Jake and I sort of called that it wouldn't be too long before we saw $100, $150, $200 Secret Lair that was just some overpriced crazy card, let's say Mana Crypt. And then it had like two like $5 or $10 cards alongside it, like a Soul Ring or your Arcane Signet, all in crazy treatments, all in some new foiling that they can boast about. And we haven't really seen that. We haven't really gotten that product outside of the the fetch lands.
Ultimate Edition.
Yeah, right.
Ultimate Edition,
5
which
cards.
Yeah, that one was really funny because you got all the enemy fetch lands, but this was actually different because you didn't get a secret card, which is pretty much the only one ever that hasn't had a secret card within it. And it was in this big over-the-top package that was just so much junk. Such a junky package.
Right.
It was ridiculous. And yes, it was way overpriced. It was more expensive than any Secret Lair that we've seen. Sometimes we'll see a secret layer product that has like it'll be tied to like a cancer foundation or something like that. And that one will be more expensive because half the proceeds go to cancer.
Right.
But nothing has been as egregious as the secret layer ultimate edition.
Right. And so that's really the best example we've got. That's not a whole commander deck. We're putting that in its own category. It's sort of separate from what we're saying might happen in the future with this video. So with that being the only premium one we've seen, you know, it seems like maybe now we're going to get the secret, super powerful, premium, rare, scarce card. But what if we just announce it ahead of time? You might get this open, especially with the move to the model of we're moving back to the FOMO model. We placated everybody who complained.
Limited stock.
Yeah, Walking Dead was a big travesty, and so we had to walk some stuff back and make sure that everybody was okay with us continuing Secret Lair because it's a big part of our business model now. And so now that we've put enough time in between that, we can go back to the old model of time boxed, limited stock, etc. Let's add to that. Let's guarantee that these sales happen and provide something for the whales among us, because there are whales among us that they should make products for. Don't make any bones about it. If somebody's going to buy it, they're completely willing to make it, or they're completely within their right to make it, I should say. And so maybe now the way is, oh, you're going to open up the secret super Marvel foil mana crypt arc reactor in this Iron Man secret layer. It's going to be $80. You know what I'm saying? Like, then the price starts to creep.
Well, you know, it's quite a payday, right? Let's talk about the Mana Vault, right? If we have these Mana Vaults that are being opened right now that are foil and they're $1,000 a piece, or let's say 900, that's quite a little payday for buying a $30 or $40 secret layer, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
You have this opportunity, and the way that they've like laid it out is you're either going to get a wastes, you're going to get a codex shredder, or you're going to get a Mana Vault.
Right.
So if we don't take any odds into consideration and we just say, wow, 1 in 3 chance, that's so much better than buying a $30, you know, collector booster, right? Where I have a chance to get a serialized card, but even that serialized card isn't worth what this Mana Vault is. I should just go to town and buy 20 of these Fallout secret layers. And that's probably what a bunch of people did. They were probably like, I want that Mana Vault. I'm going to buy a crap ton of them and make sure that I get it. Now those people are getting paid in a big way.
Oh yeah.
And so yeah, you know, it's hard to deny that value add. If you're going, you know, I have a 1 in 3 chance, you know, let's say, you know, Codex Shredder, Wastes, or Mana Vault. I mean, it's a pretty narrow group of cards that you get to choose from. So even if you know, if you're like, if it were 10 cards or 20 cards, you know, something like that, I think it's all very calculated. Wizards of the Coast is thinking, you know, like, you know, even if those Mana Vaults are like 1 in every 20, 1 in every 25, you have people that are keeping them. You have people that want that Fallout IP as well, which is going to be a big thing, like what you're talking about with Marvel. So, yeah, there's a lot to think about, a lot of angles to consider.
There's two main thoughts that I sort of start going down when I'm trying to see where could this go? Put on my future goggles.
Sure.
My first thought is, how far is too far? You've got games in the past. I mean, all this started with like, what, Maple Story? Where are my Maple Story players at? Y'all were loot boxing before most of the people watching this video were born. We've also got, you know, up through like Star Wars Battlefront 2, which paywalled playable content that was basically promised with the game. And the pushback was so hard that you had the Senate weighing in on loot boxes. You've got countries, Japan, Belgium, China, that are like shutting down loot boxy aspects. And I'm talking all the way to like daily login rewards are being put under fire. You know, monthly spin the wheel once a day rewards, that shit's getting put under. Anything that is beckoning the player unnaturally to come and play that game is being heavily reviewed by a lot of governments right now. That's how far this has gotten. So with Magic the Gathering, how far is too far? Does too far exist? We open booster packs for a living over here.
Yeah, you know, like here's the thing as well, is like we should talk a little bit about the reserve list, which is a list of cards that Wizards of the Coast has said that they'll never reprint, and with like the actual card back and like Black Lotus, Power 9, dual lands, a bunch of cards.
There are loopholes,
the
but
reserve list.
we won't reprint these is basically the statement.
We won't reprint these. But when you do print a Mana Vault Fallout treatment that only appears in the Secret Lair product, and we don't know how the Fallout licensing is going to work. We don't know how often we're going to come back to Fallout, but what we can assume is that Mana Vault is probably never going to come back in that same treatment.
Probably the same thing can be assumed with general Secret Lairs as well. We would hope. In
general. But the thing about Secret Lair, and this is the part, is like, you know exactly what you're buying, right? Is like, if I buy a Secret Lair product and it's the Ravina Kai, I know that I'm getting the Anala and the Sword of the Animist and all of the cards that come in that. And every single Secret Lair is like that. But it's like what you're talking about, which is, you know, and what the point of this video is that the Secret Lair products have now turned into their own version of loot boxes, and they have been for a while. Like we said, Secret Lair, Stained Glass Planeswalkers. But they're announcing
it. Now they're saying it. They've never really acknowledged. That's always been sort of part of the marketing, is they're just a little bit like, oh, Secret Lairs have secret cards in them? Who did that? That's so weird. Yeah. Even though it's definitely part of the model.
I do think, you know, when you're doing that, you have players that are like, well, yeah, I want all of the cards that come in that layer, or I don't want all of the cards that come in that layer. I just want to hunt for this one card.
Right.
And anybody who watched, you know, the Stained Glass Narset chase, I bought 7 Secret Lairs from Secret Lair Stargazing Volume 2, which was the Thassa layer, because I knew that any of the layers that had blue, everybody was on Reddit. They were like, oh yeah, if the layer has the color identity blue, then your Stained Glass Planeswalkers can be blue.
Right.
That was the first time we got the Stained Glass Narset, which is like, God, like a $40 or $50 card. It was like $120 at the time, so you had a whole bunch of people that were trying to find this super rare card. So this isn't something that's completely new, but it is something now to where, when you are making it an extremely powerful card, like Mana Vault, or if it's like in this one specific treatment that is only tied to this one IP, that's where it gets into like this water of like, wow, this is really hard to find, and this is probably the only place I'll be able to find it other than on the secondary market if I want to pay $1,000 for it.
Right.
Which is why we got FOMO going through the roof right now.
So with that thought of this is all barreling towards a new reserve list, how far do you think is too far? Can WotC push the fan base too far with this? Or if they just kind of start slowly adding in more and more, you know, potential value hits, do you think that the community is going to accept those bigger prices of loot boxes on there? Because my other thought, Jake, is not only how far is too far, my other thought is how long until we have a new type of booster pack again, air quotes around new type of booster pack, but it's called the Secret Lair Premium Treasure Chest, and it's $120 a pack, and it comes with some certain number of cards. Then it's like basically its own set. It's all reprints, but it's all in like, you know, Wayne Reynolds did all these. we got all of the Foglios to come back for this treatment of Cranko. Like, yeah, here's 120 cards that you might open in this. Every box comes with 20 cards with a 1% chance of texture foiling on any of them. Like, how far until that? How far is too far? Is that too far? Would you buy that? My brain just goes crazy with this. It's so nuts.
You know, I think Wizards of the Coast at this point, they need to just kind of like ride the play booster train and what was 2 years, 3 years since we got set boosters. So set boosters are gone. The ship has sailed on that.
They know how long they should go before they like, you know, do a major product shift.
Yeah, and I think for vendors and for the player base, sticking with a play booster and a collector booster is so simplified. I don't know how they change from that.
Sure.
In my opinion, I think that they just need to ride that, because
100%.
Obviously the collector booster thing is going to stick around.
Yeah.
But
I'm saying like only available on the website, not a Secret Lair treasure chest that is in stores or is a new type of booster. That's why we're not calling it the Secret Lair booster pack, because that would be actually confusing. But a fully randomized Secret Lair experience from a pool of cards. That's sort of where I see this going on the end, as the end game of it. If we want to keep going down this route of, hey, in this one, y'all, there's a mana crypt. You might open it, 1 in 3 chance. Well, at least there's 3 cards to pull from. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Is that a place? Do you see it going there, or would you even be interested in it?
I don't know. I probably, I don't think that really fits with that model. Maybe they do that, but I mean, what we do know is that they are putting extremely hard to find cards seeded into, $30 and $40 secret layers, or we can just call them $30 and $40 booster packs that have predetermined cards in them.
Right.
That also have a secret chance to go home with a big payday. I mean, as of right now, I was very wrong about this Mana Vault. I was thinking this Mana Vault would be racing to the bottom, and even though we have seen some adjustments, it's not the kind of adjustments that I would have expected, but it has only been a week. I just got my confirmation today that my product is going to be delivered today. So all those people on the West Coast that are just now getting their product, also you're going to have people overseas that are going to be getting them as well. We have to see what the real demand for this is.
Yeah.
And, like everything that we talk about on this channel, we got to look 6 months down the line,
100%.
a year down the line, because it's so hard to tell right now, right out the gate. A lot of people were talking about, I want to get one of these 1 in 100 Viscera Seers. This Mana Vault, there's going to be so many more than 100 of them. I don't know how many there will be. I do know that there will be, that crossover demand. You're going to have collectors that want it because they like oddities. You're going to have Fallout players that want it because Fallout. And you're going to have some people that just want it because it's just, different, whatever, the pimp factor, so it has a lot of different angles that are driving the price. But we also need to wait for it to get into that window, the out of sight, out of mind window, where people are just kind of on to the next thing,
Yep. It is very important to zoom out and sort of look at these as macro trends. So we'll see. We're going to keep an eye on the Mana Crypt as we go forward because, the Mana Vault. It is the Mana Vault. It's Fallout.
Yeah.
I just want a Mana Crypt. Mana Vault
is
the one we're going to keep an eye on going forward because it is new and it's very interesting and could lead to sort of a domino effect. So everything we've talked about, all the different crazy ideas I've put forward, let us know what you think down in the comments. That's where the conversation continues.
I absolutely believe there could be a Mana Crypt Arc Reactor kind of thing, or a special version of Dark Steel or a Mithril Coat that is, Tony Stark's armor, that kind of thing.
Well, and I think what I was basically developing in front of everyone with the premium pack of 150 cards randomized, you get 20 or whatever, is basically the VIP pack from Double Masters, except it's a smaller pool of reprints because it's a secret layer only thing. And so I guess, the VIP pack went pretty well. There's a market for people that want to pay, upwards of $200 for some kind of premium opening all heat experience randomized. Sure. And so maybe we'll see it. I don't know. It'll be interesting to watch over time.
Yeah, Wizards of the Coast, we talk about this all the time, but just like the power creep, a lot of reserve list stuff is just being power crept out by better stuff that is new. They're like, all right, you don't want us to reprint this old shit, then we're just going to reprint new shit that's better than it.
Right.
And so we see that happening, whenever a new staple comes out, something like a Jeweled Lotus or something like that, that kind of stuff is ushered into the staples list. And so when we see staples, stuff like Jeweled Lotus, if we get a secret layer Jeweled Lotus by Alana Danner that is just only in a secret layer product and you have to get it from this one special, secret slot, and it's actually the odds are, 1 in every 50 secret layers.
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. When we get the secret layer pack that we have to break down what's available in each slot, that's coming. It has to be here soon. It has to be at least a Post-it note on some secret layer maker's whiteboard in an office somewhere
pretty much,
as an idea.
It's pretty much here in a way. You're buying these Fallout secret layers and you're getting 5 cards, but you're essentially getting 6 cards, and they can either be the 5 cards that in a Codex Shredder, the 5 cards that in a and a waste, or the 5 cards that you know, and a mana vault. It's essentially a booster pack with 1 random card in it already.
Big thanks and shout out to our enthusiast patrons over on Patreon. These people all enjoy a free, unique, posted only to Patreon video every single week. This week's video was about, don't buy these. We looked at some cards, 10 cards that are all popping off in price right now that are at all-time highs. And we went through what we think about them and if it's going to go any higher, if it's going to go any lower. But all of these patrons got to see that video. And if you're not in this tier, you didn't.
So big thank you to all of our enthusiast patrons at the $10 level or higher. We really do appreciate all of your continued support. It means a whole heck of a ton. And we'll be back in the future with more videos for you.
Bye.